I froze as my phone lit up with my brother's name. His voice erupted with rage about me missing the ceremony. My stomach dropped. Wedding? What wedding? No invitation had ever reached me. Confusion washed over me as he continued his tirade. Something wasn't right here. When he finally paused to breathe, I asked the only question that mattered. "Nate, what are you talking about?" "What wedding?" His laugh was cold, brittle. "Wow, you're really gonna pretend you didn't know. Mom said you RSVP'd last month. My name is Leah. I'm 34 and an event planner. This is the story of how I uncovered the web of lies that had been isolating me from my own family for years." The call had come at 9:17 p.m. on a Thursday. I remember because I'd just finished coordinating a product launch for my biggest client, an event that had gone flawlessly, unlike whatever disaster was unfolding in my personal life. "I never received an invitation, Nate," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I would never miss your wedding intentionally." "Bulletin shit," each word like a hammer. "Mom personally confirmed you got it. You even sent a congratulations card. You know what? Save it. Olivia's gone anyway. Left before we even said our vows. Guess I shouldn't be surprised both of you bailed." The line went dead before I could respond. I sat at my kitchen counter, staring at the black screen of my phone. My brother had gotten married, or almost gotten married, and somehow believed I'd deliberately snubbed him, and his bride had left him at the altar? None of this made sense. I called my mother immediately. She answered on the fourth ring, her voice tight. "Leah." "Now isn't a good time." "Mom, Nate just called. He said he got married today. I never received an invitation." A long pause. "Don't do this, Leah, please. You sent a card saying you couldn't make it because of work. I have it right here." "What? I never sent any card. Mom, I swear to you." "I can't deal with this right now," she interrupted. "Your brother is devastated. Olivia left less than an hour before the ceremony. He needs support, not whatever this is." The call ended, leaving me with more questions than answers. I poured myself a whiskey and tried to make sense of the situation. Either my entire family was gaslighting me, or someone had intercepted my invitation and sent a decline response in my name. Given the history of miscommunications between my family and me over the years, missed birthday dinners I was supposedly informed about, family gatherings I was told had been canceled, a pattern was emerging that I could no longer ignore. The next morning, I took a personal day from work and drove to my parents' house, 2 hours outside the city. Dad answered the door, his expression hardening when he saw me. "This isn't a good time, son." "Dad, please, I need 5 minutes to clear something up." Reluctantly, he let me in. Mom was sitting at the kitchen table, red-eyed. A stack of wedding-related items lay scattered before her, photos, place cards, and a small pile of response cards. I spotted one with handwriting that looked vaguely like mine, but wasn't. "May I?" I asked, gesturing to the card. She pushed it toward me without looking up. I examined it carefully. A congratulations card with a message saying I couldn't attend due to a major work event. The signature was close to mine, but slightly off. The L had a loop. Mine never did. "I didn't write this," I said quietly, placing the card back on the table. "And I never received an invitation." "Leah, please," my mother sighed. "We don't need more drama." "It's not drama, Mom. Look at the signature. Really look at it. That's not how I write my name." My father took the card, studied it, then looked at me skeptically. "Do you have your driver's license?" I asked. "Compare the signatures." Reluctantly, he pulled out his wallet and I handed him my license. He looked back and forth between them, his brow furrowing. "They are different," he admitted, "but who would—" "Where's Nate staying?" I interrupted. "I need to talk to him." "At the Venue Hotel, the Four Seasons downtown. But Leah, he's in no state to—" I was already heading for the door. "I'll handle it carefully, I promise." I drove straight to the hotel, piecing together what might have happened. If Nate had intercepted my invitation and forged my response, what else had he interfered with over the years? The missed family dinner last Christmas that I'd canceled at the last minute? The baby shower for my cousin where everyone was surprised I didn't show up? At the hotel, I asked for Nate's room number, but they wouldn't give it to me without his permission. I was about to leave when a woman's voice called out behind me. You look just like him. I turned to see a tall woman with dark hair pulled back in a neat ponytail. She wore a casual outfit, but something about her poise suggested she was used to more formal attire. "Excuse me." "You must be Leah," she said. "The family resemblance is striking. And you are Olivia." She extended her hand. "The almost bride." My heart skipped a beat. "Olivia, I've apparently heard almost nothing about you." A sad smile touched her lips. "Likewise, though Nate had plenty to say about you, none of it particularly flattering." We found seats in the hotel lounge. Olivia ordered tea. I stuck with water, needing clarity more than comfort. "Why did you leave?" I asked after the server departed. She turned her cup slowly. "Do you want the official reason or the real one?" "Both. Officially, I had cold feet." She took a sip of her tea. "The real reason is I found something disturbing in Nate's email. I was using his laptop to check our honeymoon details, and a notification popped up from the printer service, a receipt for a congratulations card." My pulse quickened. "Let me guess. A card from me?" She nodded. "I wouldn't normally snoop, but something felt off. So I checked his sent emails and found a whole correspondence with the printer. He provided your signature for them to copy. There were others, too, various messages supposedly from you to different family members." "What kind of messages?" "Cancellations, excuses, some rude responses to invitations. He's been doing it for at least 3 years, based on the email history." 3 years. That aligned perfectly with when the misunderstandings with my family had begun. Right after I'd moved to the city and started my business, becoming more successful than Nate for the first time in our lives. "When I confronted him," Olivia continued, "he exploded, said you had always been jealous of him, that you were trying to sabotage our wedding by making false accusations. When I showed him the evidence on his own computer, he smashed it against the wall." She wrapped her arms around herself. "That's when I knew I couldn't marry him." "I'm so sorry," I said, genuinely pained for this woman I'd just met. "For what it's worth, I think you made the right call." "I know I did." She met my eyes directly. "But now, I need to figure out what's next. I quit my job to move to his city, gave up my apartment." "Where are you staying tonight?" "Here for now. My sister's flying in tomorrow." We talked for hours. Olivia was smart, direct, and clearly blindsided by the side of Nate she'd discovered. As we compared notes, a pattern emerged of my brother's systematic campaign to isolate me from the family while presenting himself as the stable, reliable son. "What are you going to do?" she asked eventually. I considered this carefully. "I'm not sure yet, but I think I need proof that everyone can see, not just your word against his or mine." "I have screenshots," she offered. "I sent them to myself before he destroyed the laptop. I managed to email everything to my personal account while he was in the bathroom after our argument. That's a start." A plan was forming in my mind. "Olivia, would you be willing to help me? I think there's a way we can expose what Nate's been doing, but I can't do it alone." She studied me for a moment. "What do you have in mind?" "For a family gathering, one where everyone can see the truth at once." Over the next 2 weeks, Olivia and I built our case. She forwarded me the screenshots which clearly showed Nate's correspondence with the printing service, including the forged signatures and the messages he'd crafted in my name. Some were simply declining invitations, while others contained subtle jabs that would make family members think I was being dismissive or uncaring. Meanwhile, I reached out to my cousin Rachel, the only family member who had consistently stayed in touch despite the misunderstandings. She'd always seemed skeptical of the excuses supposedly coming from me. She had maintained contact by occasionally calling my work number, which Nate couldn't interfere with since he didn't have access to my office line. "I've always thought something was off," she confirmed when I showed her the evidence. "Remember Aunt Judy's 70th birthday? Nate showed everyone a text from you saying the party was not worth the drive. But when I mentioned it to you later, you had no idea what I was talking about." "Will you help me set up a family dinner?" I asked. "At your place, maybe. Somewhere neutral." Rachel agreed readily. "I'm having everyone over for my promotion dinner next Saturday anyway. Nate's already confirmed." Don't tell him I'm coming, I cautioned. And one more thing, Olivia will be there too. The night of the dinner arrived and my stomach was in knots as I parked down the street from Rachel's house. Olivia and I had planned to arrive last, ensuring everyone else, including Nate, would already be there. Rachel had texted me when everyone was seated so we could time our entrance perfectly. "Ready?" I asked her as we walked to the door. She nodded, her composure impressive given the circumstances. "Let's do this." The conversation in the dining room halted abruptly when Rachel led us in. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. My father stood frozen, wine glass halfway to his lips, and Nate's face drained of color, then flushed crimson. "What the hell is this?" he demanded, rising from his chair. "A family dinner," Rachel said calmly, "with all the family, and Olivia, who I've been wanting to meet." "She left me at the altar," Nate spat, "and he jabbed a finger toward me, couldn't even bother to show up for my wedding. Now you're bringing them to dinner together?" "Actually," I said, keeping my voice level, "that's what we need to talk about." For the next 20 minutes, Olivia and I presented our evidence, the screenshots of Nate's emails to the printing service, the forged response card, the pattern of misunderstandings that had isolated me from family events. With each piece of evidence, Nate's denials grew more frantic, then more threatening. "This is ridiculous," he finally exploded. "You're all going to believe this? She's just bitter because she got cold feet, and she's always been jealous of me." "Nate," my mother said quietly, "the evidence is right there. Those are your emails." "They could be faked. They probably met each other and cooked this up to hurt me." "We met for the first time at the hotel the day after your wedding," Olivia replied calmly. "After I found those emails on your computer and you smashed it against the wall." My father, who had been silent throughout the presentation, finally spoke. "Son, why would you do this? Why turn your sister against her own family?" Nate's expression shifted, calculation replacing rage. "You don't understand. Leah was always pulling away, moving to the city, starting her fancy career. She was abandoning the family. I just helped the process along so it would hurt less when she was really gone." "That wasn't your decision to make," I said, looking him directly in the eyes. "You stole 3 years of family connections from me, made them think I didn't care, made me think they were excluding me." "What do you want from me?" Nate's voice had turned sullen. "An apology? Fine, I'm sorry." "I don't want an apology," I replied. "I want the truth acknowledged. I want everyone here to understand what really happened." My mother was crying silently. My father looked years older than when I'd arrived. Rachel moved to stand beside me, a small gesture of solidarity that meant everything. "I think," my father said slowly, "that we all need some time to process this. Nate, I believe you should leave now." "You're kicking me out?" Nate's voice rose incredulously. "Over some emails, some miscommunications?" "Not just miscommunications," Olivia interjected. "Deliberate manipulation, lies, forgery." Nate turned to her, his expression ugly. "You don't get to judge me. You left me on our wedding day." "Yes," she said simply, "and now everyone knows why." In the end, Nate left, but not before delivering a final barrage of accusations and self-justifications that only served to confirm everything we'd shown the family. The dinner continued without him, though the mood remained somber as everyone grappled with the revelations. Later, my parents pulled me aside. "We should have questioned things more," my mother said, gripping my hand. "All those times you supposedly canceled or sent rude messages. It never quite fit with the daughter I raised." "But we believed it," my father added, his voice rough with emotion, "because Nate was right here, telling us stories about how you were changing, becoming too important for family." "I never changed," I said quietly. "I just wasn't allowed to be present." The rebuilding began that night, not just with long, overdue conversations with my parents, but with the extended family who had been fed false information about me for years. Olivia stayed for the dinner, forming an unexpected bond with Rachel, who offered her a place to stay until she figured out her next steps. In the weeks that followed, I helped Olivia find a job at one of my client companies in the city. She had an impressive marketing background that had been wasted in the small town where Nate lived. We weren't romantic. We both valued our growing friendship too much to complicate it. But we developed a bond born of shared experience and mutual respect. Nate tried several times to reestablish himself with the family, alternating between apologies and minimizing what he'd done. It was just some declined invitations, he insisted during one particularly tense dinner. Everyone's acting like I committed a crime. You stole something important, I told him. You stole connections, moments, relationships, time that can never be recovered. 6 months later, at a genuine family gathering where I was truly invited, my mother took me aside. He's seeing someone new, she said hesitantly. Nate. He wants to bring her to Christmas. That's fine, I replied, meaning it. I'll be civil. And Olivia? Will you bring her? I smiled. Olivia is spending Christmas with Rachel's family, actually. They've become quite close. Indeed, Rachel and Olivia had developed a friendship that eventually blossomed into something more. They now live together in the city, another unexpected outcome of Nate's machinations. As for my brother and me, we maintain a careful distance. He still occasionally attempts to manipulate situations, but now the family recognizes the signs. I've learned that some betrayals can't be fully forgiven, but they can lose their power to hurt you once exposed to the light. Sometimes I wonder about the alternate reality, where I never discovered what was happening. How many more years of connection I might have lost? How many family moments would have slipped away? It's impossible not to grieve for that time, but I try to focus instead on what was gained: authenticity, clarity, and relationships built on truth rather than manipulation. The most valuable thing I've learned is that family isn't just about blood and history. It's about who shows up authentically, who makes space for your truth, who chooses connection over control. Sometimes that includes the family you're born into. Sometimes it's the family you find along the way. And sometimes, unexpectedly, it's the person who was almost your sister-in-law.